This is Duke University.
Hi, my name is Renée Ragin, and I am a second-year PhD student here at Duke University in the program in literature. And with me today is our guest, Mr. Khalid Khalifa, and he's coming to us by way of Harvard University, but from Syria. He is a poet, a TV writer, a novelist, award-winning, and has published 5 novels to date. The first of which, The Guard of Deception, which came out in 1993, followed by The Gypsy Notebooks, and one that has become quite popular in the United States, In Praise of Hatred. Then there was No Knives in the Kitchens of This City, and most recently, his newest novel is called Death is Hard Work. And Mr. Khalifa is coming to us from his hometown of Aleppo, but he is currently living in Damascus. So we'll be having a brief conversation with him today. And maybe what we can start with is, can you tell us about your latest novel, Death is Hard Work? What's the plot? What gave you the idea to write this book?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Renée. Death is Hard Work, I think it is last novel for me, but it is about the death now in Syria. What's happened in Syria, maybe. It is journey about maybe it is very, very short story, very simple story, but 3 guys will bring their father when he died from Damascus to north of Aleppo. It is story, but the story, I think it is one level. The second level is talking about what's happened on the road. Mm-hmm. On the road for 3 days, because now it's everywhere in Syria, and this road, especially from south of the Syria and north of Syria, has many, maybe 40, maybe 50 checkpoints, and from all kinds, from regime and from the opposition, many kinds too. For this was very hard journey for them. But inside this car, when it is first time for them from long time, we are be together, and we discover that the problems and these wars between the others, all people, and the third level, I think, this relationship between the any guys and himself. I think it is maybe you can talk about the 50 years in Syria, about life in Syria. But now that there's everywhere, and it's a very big problem if you died far from your land.
Right.
Yes, I think I can't talking about only, but and not about this only. It is maybe about love, about the hopeful for life, about what's happened in our past, in our history, in our life in 50 years ago in Syria. I wrote it because I wrote this novel in this moment because I take decision before in revolution. I will not write anything about the revolution now.
Okay.
Because writing needs the cold moment, and now we are in the hot moment and boiling moment too. It is not good for writing, but when I find this story, because I was in hospital too, it is personal story too. I was in hospital in 2013, and in hospital I have a question for myself, what will happen if I died now with my family? Because my family didn't leave my body in Damascus, will take it to north of Syria, my village there, my village and family there. I think I imagine everything what will happen. It is very hard work. It is not easy. And I think this journey was not easy.
So in a way, this story was autobiographical for you. The motivation for you to write it came from within, thinking about you and your place in Syria at this moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
A lot of authors, especially in countries in the Middle East right now, are finding themselves in a position where Western audiences, for instance, look to them to serve as an explanation of what is happening in their country, and they're finding that they're being asked to almost become political figures. How have you experienced that? For you, you're a novelist, you write, writing is your trade craft, but people are looking to you in a political capacity. How do you navigate that?
I think my experience, not because I'm novelist, I'm talking about my experience because I'm living in Syria. It is like 20 millions now, until now, inside of Syria. You can't imagine because life in the world is different, sure. It is so different for the normal life or in peaceful time. But my experience was maybe especially because I didn't leave Syria. I looked for this because I want to see my country when wake up after revolution. Maybe at first year we can't imagine what will happen.
Right.
Because all the Syrian revolution came after Egyptian revolution, Tunisian revolution, Yemenian revolution. Can talk about Arab Spring. Arab Spring, the Syrian people is talking. Now it is very good moment for the revolution, because we must go to the future. It's enough life under dictatorship. But we don't know all the world will be opposite and against of this revelation too. Now we are surprised so much what's happened in Syria, because we discovered now all the world against of Arab Spring, and especially Syria. Maybe now we're talking about what's meaning of Syria for the world and what's meaning Syria for us too. It is new questions now in Syria by Syrian people. But discover too, if you want to make your revolution, you must be alone. It is very, very painful. But this is true.
And so has the process of writing for you over the past decade or so felt like a lonely process then?
Yes, but maybe for me, all time is talking about the writers and journalists and filmmakers is different. No, we are not different. We have same problem. I have same problem. Maybe I'm lucky because I'm alone, don't have family, not get married, not children. Because I think because I'm looking for around me in Damascus about neighbors, about my friends. Maybe them problems is more hard. The life is more hard. But for me, because and to the relationship now, I have many questions about the relationship between war and writing. Maybe I don't have answers until now, but I'm looking for we'll find some answers. I change it. I'm feeling. I changed it. Everything changed in my side, inside me. Maybe in next time we will have the new writing, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Until now, I'm not sure, because it is very good if you after this all blood you must discover yourself at first. Other things you must discover your country, your culture. It is questions. It is new question for Arab world. Who we are. We can't think about all time. We are Islam. We are Arab. We are Syrian. Or we are from this world, or it is questions. I think now all Syrian people has questions, and conversations in Syria all time is talking about these questions. Who we are. I think it is very good. It is a very good question, because if you have answers about this question, you can build another country, another culture, and you don't need any not dreams only.
Right.
We will go to the truth. Okay, we are Syrian. We have a big long history, very ancient cities, very ancient cultures, many languages. It is very good. It is very good or not good. Now we must answer about this. But I think all Syrian people now has this stop at this point, because when the blood everywhere around you, you can't talking about only about we must to save
Right.
ourselves.
Right.
And it is my target now in Syria. All time we are looking to the save ourselves. Save ourselves. We are looking to the every morning when I wake up. In the past, before the revolution, I have programmed it very clearly. I'm going to my working. I'm a professional writer.
Right.
I have 6 hours every day. I'm writing. Yes, and I'm writing in a coffee shop, in restaurant, and my table is served for me 11 years.
Wow.
I know it is very good. It is very simple life and very nice. I'm working and come back to my house, and after have reading time, and after we can get every night with my friends.
Mm.
This is my life for 20 years, but in the war you can't, because my way from my house to the workshop to the coffee shop, before I take it get 10 minutes. Now I need 2 hours, because the checkpoints everywhere too. I must to stop to check points, and you don't know what will happen, because maybe we'll die in this moment, because you don't know, maybe you will find you inside the bottle. But it is, you every day you are thinking, no, you must get out. If I want to stay in my house, I will stay for a long time, and the effort again will grow up. But for this, I must to get out from my house every day, because the life is meaning for me.
Right.
You must stay alone.
Right.
Maybe you can think about the details a lot, because you can imagine if you are living under bombing every day, not 5 years, 4 years, every day, and you are looking every day, everything. From my window, I can look everything. This because I'm living in mountain of Damascus, and I can see Damascus. Everything and every day, and for a long time you will have this relationship with the days, and life is different. Yes, maybe today is good because we didn't die. Maybe tomorrow we don't know. We can't plan for the 1 year.
Right.
We are talking about, okay, the next month maybe we'll go we have birthday for any friends. We are not sure. All these guys, all these friends is coming in the same time, because maybe we will lost some friends, and it is normal for us. It's very sad. It is very, you can't imagine. We are looking for us. Okay, birthday Renée in next month. Okay, it is in our days, normal days, but it is we can plan, and we can talking how our your time, but now, okay, we are sure we are coming, but we don't know if we are not died until that time.
Right.
Maybe it is meaning everything. The life has another meaning in the war all time.
As you speak, what you're describing in terms of kind of the sense of time, in terms of being able to see everything that's happening to your city from your house, I'm thinking of Ghada Saman's book, Beirut Nightmares, where she was describing kind of feeling trapped in the space of being very unsure in the middle of Lebanon civil war a little while ago. What you're describing, I think, is very important, especially for international publics to understand as much as one can the kind of experience you're having. But I was very disheartened earlier in one of your past lectures when you were describing your experience with Western publishing houses, specifically with an American publishing house that altered your book In Praise of Hatred.
In London.
In London, excuse me, thank you. Can you, it was surprising news to many of us who'd heard this, especially because I think we have this idea that there's an unfiltered voice. We get the true voice of Khalid Khalifa, the 100% of the story he wanted to give us about Syria, in this case, Aleppo and Hama. Can you explain to us a little bit what that process was like and what you learned from it?
I think it is not a new problem. It is not now. It is our problem with the relationship between our cultures, the Western culture, European culture, and Arab culture. Until now, the publishing house in West is looking to the Arab literature. It is like sample. We translate it because we want to look to this society. We don't talking about we have the Arabs has good literature, and I'm thinking it is lost a lot of a big culture for the readers in the West. Now the relationship between in French, this example, it is different so much because the French publishing houses translated the old books, the old culture, and it is a great culture. It is very. You can talk about Abu al-Ala al-Maharri, about al-Mutanabbi, about. It is human culture. Until now, the Arab is reading these books, and until now is this looks. All the publishing house. When we'll translate from the Arab literature, maybe we'll choose some subject, not good literature too. Maybe talking about we have now interesting for the this closing life of Arab world is about Islam something about what's happened. One man he killed his wife, his daughter. This subject is very favorite for publishing house in the West, but I think it is not literature. If you are going to look to the literature, I think there are other things. Now, until now, the publishing house is looking to Arab culture from this side. This side, it is not good for our relationship, for our relationship in the future too. Right. Because if you want to understand, this culture, you must read everything, right. And you must look from another sides, not one side. Until now, is talking about this. Only some. I have some question from my country, Syria. Syria for the people is unknown. Until now is unknown. Right. Doesn't know anything about Syria, and all time I must to explain Syria. It is not my business. If you want to know, you must to read. You must to visit. You must to look for Syria, inside Syria. When we are talking about Syria, all the people is surprised because it is Syria. Yes, it is Syria. Many culture, many language, and it is not Islam only, and it is capital of Jesus, and it is. You can't talking about only religion. There are a lot of people out is no religion, has no religion, and a lot of people has many dreams and big dreams, and only sometimes you can explain. You are tired. You are tired. Why you are unknown? Because if you don't know anything about Syria, what we know? It is all this city there. Some people is professional and study history, and ask me, about Syria. Where's Syria? If you are study history, maybe you are looking to the Greek, too. But it is Syria and the Greek. It is one. It is same thing in history.
Right.
But you can talk about Aleppo. It is now talking Aleppo. It is oldest city in the world. Now Aleppo for the people it is not unknown. We are talking about this is capital of ancient culture. You can talk about architect. You can talk about food. It is very surprised, and we are tired so much. All time you must explain yourself for the.
Right. Well, I can definitely understand that, and I think it's very important to this university here at Duke in particular to be able to have this opportunity to talk to you and to hear not only from your perspective what Syria is in terms of its history and its present moment, but your hopes for its future, and maybe perhaps equally as important, how you need the West to understand interfacing with Syrians as people, the obligation we have to understand more about the country and its history. It's a very powerful reminder.
That's a very good question for me, because I don't need anything. Only you are looking in that area in the Middle East.
Right.
There are people needs the freedom, because until now you has questions about the West and especially the West, United States and Europe, didn't help these people when we uprising. No, but this was stand opposite of these revelations. We know why, because it's talking about the political and economic. It is not good for the United States maybe and Europe, because until now it's talking about this revelation can't stop in Syria. It will continue to Arabia Saudi and Arabian Gulf and maybe, and okay, it is sure, because the people in Arabia Saudi needs to the uprising and revelation, not dictatorship. We didn't. The one message for the West: don't support any dictatorship, because the people will go. Now is going. Maybe now we will delay 20 years, 30 years, but the history will write. All this, they can talk about the human rights, all time is talking about the human rights in the United States and Europe.
Right.
But when the Syrian people is running to the revelation and to the future, forgot everything. Now the Syrian people under bombing every day on air. And it's talking about the regime, maybe he is our part, maybe he is will has relationship, we are not sure.
You're talking about the Geneva talks, right?
I'm talking now because 5 years changed, At first year was the revolution was peaceful and all the world knows. The regime every day kills the people in the street and the blood in the street. And all time is talking at the second year and third year is coming. Now it is Islamic big groups. It is radical Islamic. It is same stories again. Now it's talking about Afghanistan again. But we must to have. It is when you repeat the history, maybe we'll have very bad photos, very bad truths. Because now talking about ISIS. Who's ISIS? It is not Syrian people. Okay, we are talking about ISIS. Some people is coming from London or Brussels or Europe and get by airports, European airports, and to Istanbul airport, and after take another plane to Ghazi Antab, and after take car and travel 100 kilometers and get to the airport and be ISIS. Established ISIS. We have a question for these people, all the airports. Why do these people come, busted all these airports, and all the secret police, I think, in United States and Europe knows this is radical Islamic and is going to Syria. Now, after 5 years, we have these questions. But now, if you are talking about the Syrian revolution is radical Islamic, it is not the truth, because all knows Syria, all the people know Syria, knows the Syrian people is not radical Islamic.
Right.
It is normal, because we can't talk about Syrian life. Where's Al-Qaeda? It is same thing, another we have questions again about Al-Qaeda. Who's established Al-Qaeda? What's happened in Al-Qaeda? Maybe it is political, economic, but it is not, we are not interesting. The interesting about save our blood. Our people blood, and after this we are going. Now the Arab world is different. After Arab Spring is different before Spring. Now maybe we can We can talking about Egypt now. Okay, after it's peaceful, no radical Islamic, but now is established the radical Islamic in Sinai again. It is same story. In Middle East only radical Islamic, all military dictatorship. Other things, other way, maybe it is very hard. But I'm sure, because I know the people inside Syria and Egypt, but I think that the people will choose the third way and will go to the running to the democracy.
Absolutely.
But it's very hard.
Absolutely. No, and that's a very important reminder, because I think with politics it's so easy to kind of twist the story and forget the history of the revolution, or the way in which history is repeating itself, and that there are people who started a revolution seeking democracy, and it's been kind of hijacked since then. So thank you for that reminder, for your work, for speaking with us over the course of this week.
I'm so sorry forgive me for my English, but it's good.
No, it's so much better than my Arabic. It is perfect. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.